Hi everyone, my name's Angus, this is Martin, and we're going to tell you about Omnoptics. It's a public marketplace that allows the sharing and monetization of user-generated breaking and flash news content worldwide. So a lot of the time these days, you'll get a smartphone bump notification from a news provider saying there's a breaking news story. You'll click through and you'll get to an article with no media, very little information. And the problem is, these events are going on, and there's already people there documenting them on their smartphones. So there's content being generated of the events happening. It goes up on social media or something. This is an example here. Dave's landed in Las Vegas. He's taken a photo of a plane which is on fire on the runway. And, you know, here's a feed of his replies on Twitter. All these news companies are saying, "Hi David, can we use your picture? We'll give you a credit maybe. Get back to us." And so it's inefficient because this is relying on Dave to have to answer each one of these individually. And also it's ad hoc. There's no definition to it. It's going to take ages. And so that means that these news companies are having to spend a lot of time trying to get the permissions for these content, this content that's being produced. So I'm going to hand over to Martin.
So what we came up with was Omnoptics, which allows these users to upload the content directly to our system, which will allow them to put a price on that, which will be based on a token that we've got called the Scoop. And this will allow them, through the app, to put the content directly up there, and then using the blockchain and smart contracts, the news corporations can then see all this content directly and immediately and purchase that for the Scoop, which will allow them to use it and have the rights immediately. So this should hopefully take away from the fact that these guys have to contact people directly, and it will also mean that the users themselves who are in the right or wrong place at the right or wrong time to be able to earn a bit of money, and for the news corporations to have the richest content as quick as they possibly can. So that's that. We put together, obviously, we only had 48 hours here, so don't judge us too much on the design or anything. But we put together a very basic prototype which allows the smart contract to receive these submissions, and also allowing from another blockchain address to be able to purchase the rights for this content. So once it's all uploaded with prices attached to it, it means that, you know, example here, racetrack fire. So maybe some kind of event had happened, and say it was The Guardian or someone had basically put the story up as a breaking news story, but they didn't have any images, and, you know, more to follow is usually what you see. So they could very quickly log on here, see some of this content, and that would allow them to essentially purchase these rights immediately. We obviously had a project kickoff, which was where we are now. We intend on putting together an application which will allow the system to be, you know, fully functional. We talked to someone from the Wall Street Journal who sort of gave us a bit of a challenge here, and they said their biggest problem is going to be validation. So we look to sort of have a two-step validation process. The first step will be looking at basic things like whether a user has already got a good track record or they have geolocation of a certain area. So maybe we could look at allowing it to be filterable by things added in the last hour, which would have that content showing up first. But down the line, one of our biggest challenges is going to be looking at ways to do proper validation of this content, because I think the news corporations are going to really need that sort of thing before we can really get off the ground with this. So we look to have a sort of alpha stage, and then once we get a beta launch and we start looking at the step 2 validation, we can then look at launching the ICO, which we would probably target the news corporations directly, because for them to have all these coins in their sort of catalog, this will allow them to very quickly be able to log on here, pay the price for certain content, and potentially have exclusivity options and things like that. So that's kind of where we are with it at the moment. So yeah, passing back to Angus.
Thank you. So in summary, we've come up with a platform that allows users to easily publish breaking and flash news content. We forge a connection between the media organizations and the users who do this ad hoc journalism. It's streamlined the content sourcing process for these media organizations, and it's also given a bit of incentive or a bit of reward through the crypto coins that we've got called Scoop to these users who are producing this news content and basically giving it out for free at the moment. So in that way, I think we could say we've made the generation of news content faster and more fair. It's an interesting project with a lot of challenges. If anyone wants to talk to us or has any comments afterwards, come up and speak to a member of the team. We'll be at the front over here. So thank you very much for listening.